Shadow of the Erdtree has been out for a week now, and the general consensus seems to be it's pretty good. But also, it's pretty hard. That's from the weak baby gamers, of course. I'm a real pro Elden Ring gamer, therefore I could never admit that the game that is a really hard game is a hard game. That's why I'm turning the difficulty up to maximum and entering the DLC fresh at New Game +7. That will give every boss more health, damage, and resistance. Sounds pretty hard, right? Let's make it a little harder. We won't be using any equipment from the base game, no armor or weapons, or talismans, with one exception that I'll talk about later. Every time we use a weapon or a spear dash to beat a boss, we throw it in the trash. So let's do Shadow of the Erdtree on hard mode. How bad could it be? To watch more DLC content live, come hang out with us on Twitch. We find new ways to play Elden Ring all the time. Join the Patreon to support the channel. If you think, oh my god, why the hell would he do this to himself? It's for your patronage. I need to pay my rent. Finally, like this video and subscribe. There's a ton of new interest in Elden Ring at the moment, and those likes and subscribes help get our videos in front of people. It helps us out a lot. And speaking of help, let's start a run that legally functions as a desperate cry for that.
I don't like that. So far, off to a bad start.
This isn't a new character. This is the character from our last terrible idea, beating 1,320 bosses to try and get max stats. If you missed that, here's the much shorter version. We beat the bosses. It didn't work. We're going with 60 in everything instead because we were only a few levels away from being able to do that. To make it feel new though, let's get a new hairstyle. They added new hairstyles, so now our hair is longer. Here I thought Grand Theft Auto was the only game where a barber could make your hair grow. Oh, that Mercy I mentioned, we're going to be rocking the Ritual Shield Talisman. It'll give us one hit before we need to heal.
You sure about that?
Lita was brought here by Miquella. Cool, hope we see you later. No cutscene when you grab Miquella's hand. You're just like, there. We can't defend ourselves well without a sword, so hey.
Everybody get a weapon!
First place I'm checking is this church. It's not a weapon, it's a blue Scadutree fragment. Those boost your attack and defense by 5% when you cash them in for a blessing. Just for the DLC, doesn't go back to the base game. Might be important if we don't want to die. Maybe the little camp nearby has a weapon, but we can't fight anyone, so let's ring around that Rosie. There are weapons here. There's a whole wall of spears. We just can't grab any of them for some reason. First death, I don't know if we're gonna track all the deaths. After some running around, we find another purple item, but it's a revered spirit ash, something to make our spirit ashes not totally suck and die instantly out here. We will still use spirit ashes, they just have to be from the Shadowlands. Scorched Ruins. If I was a weapon, I'd be in the Scorched Ruins. We find a Potentate's cookbook and a hefty cracked pot. Technically, we can do damage now. Up top, there's a chest with a Blade of Mercy, a weapon that is not a weapon. It is in Bloodborne. Oh my god, it's a talisman that boosts your damage when you crit, which is wild because Blade of Mercy was a light weapon in Bloodborne and wouldn't get you a lot of crits. Anyway, now I am fully aware we might have missed some weapons here or there. I was not playing the game with perfect knowledge because I do not know where things are. There's a boss in this mausoleum, but I'd have to box them right now, and I don't know karate yet. Maybe I'll learn karate later, but I don't know now. We're writing this as we go. I wrote this part of the script on Saturday. I played this part of the game on Friday. The game was out for less than 24 hours. I cannot hear you in the stream when you tell me where there are weapons now. I just want to make that so clear because I know half of the comments are going to be, bro, you missed the poop stomper. The poop stomper was just behind that tree you ran past. I'm sure it was, and I'm sure the poop stomper is the best weapon in the game, and it would have one-shot every boss. I can't do anything with that information now. Okay, found our first Miquella cross and another blue Skadoo blessing. And it's Freya, everyone's favorite red mane knight. I wonder if she'll come back later. I like her big sword. I'd like it more if she gave it to us. Finally, we find a cave, and always find weapons in caves. This is the Belurat jail, and with no weapons and armor, this is a survival horror game. The stairs break. There's a ghost.
It's spooky.
And the purple thing is just a rune to bait you into whatever the hell that thing is. No. No. Oh, oh. FromSoft platforming? So early? Oh no. Then the stairs break again, and we're in a maze of pots. Is this game gonna be mean to me? I want it to be kind to me. Thankfully, there are smithing stones for the weapons we don't have yet. Managed to make it all the way to the boss without dying. Only problem is I was not looking for bosses. I can thankfully crack one heavy fire pot. So Ons, get ready for 300 damage. Ons is a little demi-human, like Bach if Bach was a clone of Clone Wars Yoda. We couldn't beat him with just our fists. The Stake America is right outside the arena, so we just run back in and die so we can go back to the Grace and check for more weapons. Next time down, I fall. Differently. Worse even.
Aim for the bushes.
I just didn't realize which pot I was meant to land on. Next time we make it down to the chest, but then... Let's go. Let's go. Oh no! Oh no! Back to the maze, I guess. I find my way atop the jars. Turns out a jar maze is easier when you can just run on the walls of it. Good news, I found another pot recipe and another pot. Now we can make freezing pots, like for Melania. Then we exit the maze and I discover elevator. Remember in the last video when I said Placidusax is easy to miss because I didn't think to hang off every ledge and hope I could land on a sliver of safety? Well, this time I did because I remembered Placidusax. Atop the altar to the pot, a weapon? Weapon. Great Jar's a new weapon type. I'm sure of it. Nope, it's a hat. Well, now we can solo the game, unless we get grabbed. I've given up on finding a weapon in there. You know what really sucks? If there is, also, let's go ahead and mark this marker. There's a boss in there. Okay. If there is a weapon in there, the only thing that my comments are gonna say on this fucking video is, dude, you missed the dick fucker. Just outside, we get some armor. It's light, but hey, it's something. And then, in some more ruins, another jar recipe. Are our hands extra soft or something? We're just being raised to be the perfect potentate. Another revered spirit ash from another burned down village. Was there a bunch of fire around here or something? Ailing talisman, not a weapon, but it will make us more resistant to the last status effect we were afflicted with. And like nothing that hits us to apply status effects would not just kill us by the time its status is applied. Finally, next to the Ghost Flame Dragon, we find the Great Katana.
It's been 84 years.
And now that we can fight, this run is going to take off like a rocket to the moon. Hey, speaking of rockets, today's video is sponsored by Rocket Money. Look, gamers, I've been a little burnt out lately. Okay, I've been kind of grinding to get those new game +7 1320 bosses. Maybe you heard of that video. So I've been trying to save up for a vacation lately. And saving money can be hard because at the end of the month, it just seems like a bunch of money keeps falling out of my account. That's where Rocket Money comes in. Rocket Money keeps an eye on all of your subscriptions and helps you cancel ones you're no longer using. Are you sure you're using every video streaming service you're subscribed to? Every single one of them? Every single month? There are probably plenty of things you are subscribed to that you totally forgot about, and that's money just leaving your account that you could spend on a nice vacation to tropical Limgrave. I like the birds there. Rocket Money makes it so easy to cancel your subscriptions, you just have to open up the app and tap a few times, then you're done. If you've got mandatory bills you can't cancel, Rocket Money can help negotiate those to get them lower. And they protect you against the ultimate final boss of money mismanagement, yourself. Rocket Money helps you set up a budget, figure out where you're spending a lot of your money every month, and figuring out where you could stand to save a few bucks. Rocket Money helps save customers up to $740 a year, with over $500 million total in canceled subscriptions. So to start saving more money and spending less, join the 5 million other people who have already started saving with Rocket Money today. So click the link in the description or go to rocketmoney.com/tulokmango to get started today for free. You can unlock more features by upgrading to premium. Again, that's rocketmoney.com/tulokmango to get started today for free. Thanks again to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to that extra hard DLC. Testing out the Great Katana, it's a little slow. It's got a funky stance where you bonk people really fast. My personal favorite part about it is that it isn't our bare fists. Time to see what the Mausoleum boss was, Blackgaol Knight. Our damage isn't great, but presumably we have bleed eventually, so that should help. His crossbow is a pretty shit ranged option, but that Stormblade, but probably not very quickly.
I'm in danger!
Ritual Shield Talisman is not enough. Several of this dude's attacks are still one-shots. I guess this won't be our first move. Let's try the Wicker Man, I guess. He's not a boss, so we don't have to bail on the weapon. Big fiery stomps, but as I suspected, he's slow as crap. Don't get me wrong, sometimes he still hits us as I'm learning the moves, but we don't get one-shot. We just get very close to being one-shot. All you gotta do is whack away on those hot toast till he falls down, then take a long time to walk around and get the crit. Seriously, knock this guy down, then go make a sandwich, come back and get the crit. And when I say make a sandwich, I mean you can bake the goddamn bread. Not too hard, just a little slow. It gives us our first physic tier that boosts the damage after quick guarding, I think? I don't know what that means. Okay, across the bridge there is a camp with perfumers, and we grab the Fire Spark perfume weapon. It sprays a bunch of perfume, not all that deadly. Now the Carrion Giant at the beginning of Castle Ensis, pretty deadly. Yeah, he sure ends that, sis. It's me. I'm the sis. Happy Pride Month, though. Kept trying to kill him since I thought we'd get a weapon. Second attempt, a Burger King joined us. We get him squished under the giant's foot lettuce. The last thing you want on your burger is someone's foot fungus. Speaking of, we got squished, so skip. Let's fight the Burger King. Maybe there's another weapon in there. No, just runes. Like, runes are fine. We just don't need them at all. Basic enemies destroy us. Soldiers and dogs are our kryptonite. Solution, cardio. Just run past them. Another chest, another cookbook. You gotta do the cooking by the book or the cake will end up crazy. Okay, let's fight a Black Knight. He's got that Radagon cone on his hammer and honestly, kinda easy to punish because of it. Well, not totally easy.
I like that. Ow.
Oh! Let's try another path. There's a tower. We climb it, but the soldier is pursuing us. Well, get ready to get bonked at the top of the ladder.
Welcome to the top, shit.
Oh, well, when we quit out, he despawns. We can climb the tower for a weapon. One of my new favorites, Milady. This thing is deadlier than life spent alone, with charged attacks that combo into the light attacks. It's so stylish, much like a fedora. Or a trilby. And if you know the difference between fedoras and trilbies, I don't want to make fun of you. It's kind of just sad. I will say there are some generous grace placements in this game, even if I get killed right after I grab them. There's stuff behind the waterfall, this game is great. There's guys behind the corner, this game sucks. Next time, we head to a shortcut so we can die to more soldiers. I'm gonna be honest, things sort of feel a little skewed against us at the moment. You know, if Moongrim was so good, why haven't they made Moongrim 2?
He's right behind me, isn't he?
Hey, Ritual Shield Talisman, you doing okay?
That's full with the Ritual Shield.
No, you're not doing okay. We try a couple different methods of getting him, sneaking up on him works, but if we get one shot, we die, and that's kinda hard. So let's just skip it. A ghost wants America to hug her damn children. So do I. It would solve like 60% of the problems in the lands between. There's also a new stance talisman. It doesn't boost stance damage. Stances are also a form of weapon art. Like, you know, stamp, upward cut, I think. It counts as one of them. The Great Katana has a stance. It does a little more damage, and then we still die to Toongrim. Downstairs we get a shield, but bestie, we can't use a goddamn shield here. Sometimes we don't even make it to Toongrim. We just get got by the dogs. At this point, you might think, how much of this video is just gonna be Phil running around and dying?
9%? 90?
A map could help. Well, can't hurt. Let's go kill Odds. I'll bet he drops that funky little sword. This cave is less stressful when we can kill that which God refused to see. All right, Ons, let's see what you got. I died instantly. Second fight, same thing. We whiffed the running attack. 3-hit combo. We're dead. Getting hit with the first hit of that string locks us into getting hit by the next 2 hits. And those kill us. To quote business genius Elon Musk, concerning. I don't think this guy is even close to the hardest boss in the DLC. He is still handing us our ass over and over and over again. Oh my god, he has a ducky dance. We never got hit by it because it doesn't charge in, which I guess also makes it pretty fair. And I never got grabbed, so I don't know what that looks like. Finally, we win and get the demi-human spirit buddy ashes. After an hour and 33 minutes, we've beaten one boss and only died 28 times. Well, no more Grey Katana. R.I.P. Hopefully I like the perfume weapon. Let's get back to the Blackgaol Knight. Turns out perfume bottles don't make him one-shot us less. Even the hits we do live require double chugging, which leaves us super vulnerable to the next attack. At this point, I'm kind of just running around trying to find the thing that will kill us the least. Toongrum again? Perfume Grum is not the solution to Toongrum. Let's level up Milady and use that against the non-bosses at least. I'll try to save it for a major boss, but for Toongrum, it should be fine. I died. It does seem to be an improvement. This really is a wonderful throw your face into a brick wall style of gameplay. So let's skip Toongrum, then run around the rooms instead to get ganked by Burger Kings. Burgers King? Is it like Attorneys General? Not sure. I'm sure we died again trying to grab an item. This time it's to a different burger chain. Five Guys. I love when Five Guys mess up my guts. And a dog. They have hot dogs too. I need to simply employ the best technique in FromSoft games. Quitting. If you run past, quit out, all the enemies go back to their first spawn point so you can get an imbued sword key. For what? Are there going to be more belfries here? We actually win another fight, this time against the Black Knight. Part of me is tempted to farm them for the armor set. Maybe these rags aren't that great. I won't replace the jar, don't worry. Finally, we grab a grace, then dip over to the balcony and get the wings dance. It's what I do when I want wings. This is pretty good. I don't figure that out for a while, but it's pretty good. One more fight with the Black Knight, he gets his revenge and kills us. New boss by the grace, Rellana, not to be confused with Rennala. This boss is hard because sure, she's got spells, but they come out of her weapons. And weapons, those are pretty good. Seriously though, Rellana, what's next? Godefroy?
I'm gonna tell him.
Don't you dare.
You ever fight a boss once and just kind of realize, nah, I ain't ready for that, I'm fucked for that. You ever do that? I did. So let's go somewhere else. We meet up with Moog's former dude and a nice pot man. Sir Gideon not near gives us a map for these crosses, and then we find a big spider. It can't fit through the door. What an idiot. More spiders in the next room. It's nice to have enemies we can actually beat. Oh, and another revered spirit ash for when we use a spirit ash. Then we die to another big spider. Looks like we found another legacy dungeon, Belurat. Lots of ghosty guys in here, and we can kind of fight them. That feels good. I like that. I'm getting some Stormveil vibes here. Maybe this one is supposed to be the first one, not Raya 2 Karia. Although the Capra Demon is a bit of an issue, kills us twice, so let's just skip it. New boss that isn't a boss, Fire Knight Quayleg? I'm gonna call him Quayleg, because he does fire, and it's the Dark Souls 1 boss. He's had a rough go of it, losing half of his limbs and not figuring out a good post-transition look. Dude has a bowl cut. It looks like he's cosplaying as a penis. Penis has hands though. God, that'd be scary. What if a penis had hands? He can super armor out of our combos.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
And he taught me a valuable lesson about jumping. Apparently when you jump, your legs become invincible. And I didn't know that. And it's been like that the whole time. People were saying I should know that since I jump over moves like the Earthquakes from Horaloo or the Rings from Elden Beast. But I thought that worked because, and hear me out, our legs weren't on the ground where the attacks were. You know how many times I've been smacked out of the air while jumping? I guess it's more of a PvP thing, but apparently I'm the asshole for thinking legs can take damage. New strat, Wings Dance with the bleed. It will combo up and work great, just not on the Capra Demon. But we can at least bleed Quayleg, as long as he doesn't go into super armor, frame 0, or block with his indestructible legs, that we apparently also have. Yeah, I'm kind of done tracking deaths. We're already past 50 for sure. About 20 minutes and we win for the Crucible Insignia, which raises your damage when you beat an enemy. Something we're not doing. That was a dead end. But there are so many paths. As much as this game is kicking my ass, there are so many paths to explore to find things you can do, to die to. A lot. It's like the illusion of choice. Would you rather have your dick flattened by Toongrum or your butt cheeks eviscerated by the Blackgaol Knight? Which way, Western gamer? We'll find the storage room key and forget to try it on that door. God damn, I'm writing this as it goes. We'll try that next stream. Then a little shortcut right to the door. Phil, check the door. Damn it, he can't hear me and he can't hear you. Don't give him advice. It doesn't do anything. Upstairs, we get a bone bow from some spiders that kill us. And I think I'm gonna have to start yada yada yadaing when we just run in somewhere to die, because this is getting tedious. I'm still loving the gameplay. I just don't think it makes for a great story. It's that part in Edge It Tomorrow where they just do a montage killing Tom Cruise a bunch.
Again. Again. Again.
Maybe I just need to see Nefeli do a push-up for some proper motivation. Finally get this guy with a pot. He drops a revered spirit ash. Then we die immediately to another Capra demon. Oops, all Capra demons. So there's this ladder. You go down it. There's a whole lake bed area with flies. We safely kill all those flies, and it's just crafting materials. Nothing useful. No weapons, no armors, no secret doors, just like mushrooms and crap. I'm assuming an NPC must move down here later or something, because like, why is it here? I find another revered spirit ash. Maybe I'll just not have a breaking rule for spirit ashes. Finally, we find a guy with some chakrams. I don't think chakrams are a weapon type. They were a weapon type I really wanted because I wanted the ring blades the Crystallians use, because I really like Axel from Kingdom Hearts. He falls off a cliff. I'm simply too good. First boss with a cutscene. It's got toes. It's got furry stuff. It's the divine beast, the dancing lion. Finally, a boss designed by the FromSoft community. First try doesn't go great. Second try doesn't go great. Third try, we're seeing a pattern, but I'm learning the patterns. This is where we're gonna spend most of the rest of stream 1. Picture an ulcerated tree spirit that gets elemental effects halfway through the fight and hits about 3 to 4 times harder.
Are you a sicko? What is this?
I'm summoning Lydia because, are you kidding? Like, we need help. Sometimes we can get in there and do some hits. Sometimes we just get washed before Lydia even crosses the fog. Every hit will kill us if Ritual Shield is not active, and even when it is active, this hits so hard, we gotta double chug. After 10 minutes, we take a break. I realized we haven't tried the Dance of Wings for Toongrum, and Diving Attack just fully cheeses him. If you're having trouble with Toongrum, just do that. It works great. He drops a Colossal Sword with a Colossal version of Glintblade Phalanx. I'm guessing they don't do the stance damage of Glintblade Phalanx though, even though presumably they should do more. Let's try it against Dancing Lion. Doesn't go great. Immediately back to Milady. Not that that's doing much better. This is really just a matter of practice, or at least that's how I felt here. Sure, it was washing me more than Melania does now, but that's because I know Melania. I don't know this guy. The ice phase is my least favorite he goes for. AoEs are just goddamn ridiculous. Every time he jumps up, I am praying for no ice. Abolish ice. We don't have a 4 Biden lands in this video, so yeah, okay, how about that? Abolish ice. All my friends hate ice. Our best strat here is bleed. I mean, that's kind of always the best strat for any boss that can bleed. Sometimes we even get a really good run off. That one was heartbreaking. Followed by,
Like, have his rhythm down during a run, or I just absolutely don't. You know, like, that last run, like, yeah, like,
you might think that him grabbing Lydia would be a great punish window, but dude keeps his iframes up for like 30 years after he's done spitting her out. Seriously, while he's chomping, go make a sandwich. And I don't mean just bake the bread, I mean pick the wheat, raise the cow to get the milk you're making for cheese. You might think I'm a bit too salty about this, but after this,
no! Oh, that was so close.
wouldn't you be salty like cured meat? Also, I wasn't really even that salty about it during stream. FromSoft cooked up some cruelty that can really pound my ass for hours and have me saying, nice pounding, let's go for another hour. Sometimes I summon Prosh, our little Bach Jr., but he doesn't help much, and I kind of want to save him for future bosses where we have more revered spirit ashes. There's the gobble animation. Gobble me, you degenerate little freak. I should do smash or passes for the bosses so far. This one's a pass. 3 people's just too much for me. And the costumes don't work. Not a furry, but hey, if you are, have fun. Rellana. Smash. She's power stancing. That's bisexual behavior. Ons is a pass. He's a bit too Muppety for my taste, and Muppets are an automatic pass. Except Janice. Girls with guitars. I don't know. Works for me. Blackgaol Knight. That's a pass. He's too distant. What do you mean you need a crossbow and a blade beam? What if I want to cuddle? The dragon we saw for 2 seconds before ignoring? I don't know. We ignored it too fast. But probably a pass. I'm not a scaler. Back to the boss fight I'm floundering into. I figured out that since we're only really ever going to be getting 1 or 2 hits off until he twists away, might as well hit that wing dance R2 for some stance pressure. Of course, he's just like... Sign of the times. That guy used to be called Chubby. Also, stance pressure is so bad in NG+7 that we are lucky if we get 1 break. I know Lydia is adding even more stance resistance, but she's also adding the bulk of the pressure with her huge fudge-off greatsword. And shield bash. She likes to shield bash a lot. Hey Lydia, can you stop shield bashing, sweetie? Where would I put her in the ranking of summoned allies? Well, it isn't really a fair ranking, and honestly, her and I have probably been through more fights together than me and the rest of the allies combined. It honestly doesn't matter how good she is. When you come out of a jigsaw trap together, you're just gonna have a bond that other people don't understand. 5 hours into the DLC on day 1. We've beaten one boss and had an amount of deaths I frankly did not have the patience nor time to count. I love it, but we need to change the strategy for day 2. It's not like it can go worse. Okay, so at this point on day 2, we don't have footage for, and my bad, I guess we'll throw up, oh, I don't know, maybe some Hades 2 stuff in the background. My capture card was dropping half the frames for like 20 minutes. Here's what we did. I found more blue Skadoo fragments and revered spirit ashes. You didn't miss much. If you want a guide to find blue Skadoo fragments, there are already a bunch. I haven't seen any super comprehensive ones, but there are a lot. You can put them all together. This isn't shaded at anyone who made one. I know they're trying to get the video out as fast as possible to be the first one. I get the grind set. Speaking of, let's get back to it. Back at it, we're gonna try the Blackgaol Night with the poison spray perfume. Oh, we picked that up too from a guy who sells poison. We are no longer getting one shot by the jump attacks. We still get one shot by the blade beam. But since this dude can be poisoned as long as we just get him sick and stay back, we can win. The crossbow attack is pretty terrible, makes sense, it's a crossbow. The ash of war on these perfume bottles is deadly poison spray, which coats us in a deadly poison. Okay, not great. I get the appeal, it's just a way to activate Kindred of Rots without having to make shit to throw at your toes. After a while, I gave up. We'll just try a harder boss with it. Rellana. Maybe she's super weak to poison. She doesn't appear to be super weak to poison, but it was worth a shot. Everyone dunks on Holy for being basically useless in the base game, but poison's the real sad boy. Everything that can be poisoned can also be rot, and rot is just better in every way. Alright, let's try to poison the Lion Dancer. Also doesn't go great. I think poison might just always be kinda bad. Maybe if we find a rot spray perfume later, that would be decent, but for now, I think the perfume weapons are just kinda ass. Back to your regularly scheduled ass stomping with the Milady. We bring out Yash too because rule change. I'm not throwing things in the trash anymore. I'm sorry. The script is being written as we go, and I've decided not to do that part of this. This shit is already so hard. I'm gonna try and use the strongest and best stuff we can. All still from the DLC, I'm just not gonna deal with the pressure of trying to find new weapons for every boss when we are already struggling so much, you know? Hey, at least I didn't review bomb the game. That's so insane. I'm keeping up with the news on it. I guarantee the people review bombing it are the people who are like, FromSoft should never add an easy mode. They're just the kind of people who like to cry a lot. I'd be totally fine if Elden Ring added an easy mode, because the hard isn't the only good thing about these games. Like, I like it hard. I really enjoy having my face smashed into the floor by the DLC, believe it or not. But I know that kind of thing isn't for everyone. They should leave the difficulty as is, put an option in the settings to make it easier. And when you turn that on, a virus is downloaded onto your computer, and anytime you gatekeep the game, the dancing lion shows up to your house and hits your real life body with that. On the real though, I think people were just really confident they were good at Elden Ring after 2 years. As a content creator, I know better than anyone. Y'all think you're hot shit. What? Because you practice the same bosses over and over again? Because you know you can sleep pot the Godskin duo and you know the arrow face of Radahn can be skipped? You've forgotten the joy of having your shit pushed in to the same boss for hours. You wanted to beat this entire thing in a weekend, but you don't have to. If anyone has to, I do. And I'm not sure if you realize by the time code or the absolute hell of a time I'm having doing this, I'm not beating it this weekend. Take your time, die a lot, and remember what the ultimate pothead warrior says. Suffering is the fun part. Once you figure out every boss in the DLC, you're just gonna become an obnoxious ass who says, Dancing Lion isn't even that hard, use the bumper hammer with the bleed affinity of the Cubster Dumpster Ash of War. In summation,
Bring it! He brought it.
also, when you get your shit rocked enough, you just gotta realize maybe it's time to go somewhere else. Try something else. I decided I wanted some heavier armor. Sure, those blue Skadoos are multiplying our damage resistance, but they don't have the best floor with which to multiply. I bet Black Knights drop their armor, and it's pretty easy to farm this one with the Colossal Sword. You just sneak up, backstab, charged heavy, and spam R1. It works for the most part. Occasionally he blocks, but when he does the cone, and it's so bad. You can backstab him. A lot of times I end up dodging it accidentally. Hell of a drip, hell of a hammer, but they don't really seem that bad beyond the intimidation factor. We get the gloves and the chest piece. It only takes about 10 minutes, and we're ready to take some big hits. Bring it, Dancing Lion.
He He brought it.
God, I love this game. I try making the big Carrion Knight sword work a little bit more and get stance breaks more often for sure, but it's just not giving us the damage we need. Bleed is just really pushed against enemies that have this amount of health. That's an NG+7 complaint, not a DLC complaint. Percentile damage is just kind of good. Rellana didn't get easier just because I went somewhere else for a bit. I love how good she is at swapping her attention between me and the Spirit Ash. It really feels like FromSoft was watching how everyone played the game, saw the things people did to make it easy, and deliberately designed the DLC to be like, learn again. God, I love this game. The real thing I learned was go somewhere else. Just like try to find something else to do. Surely there's something we can do and the game isn't just locked off behind Raya 2 Caria and Castle not Stormvale. I found a catacomb down past 2 Caria and the ceiling is an enemy. Huh. There's also new imps.
What is wrong with you? Why would you do this?
These ones hop around like Yoshimitsu from Tekken on their little swords. It's hard to deny how cute that is. We even get a drop. It's the Lizard Greatsword. The charged R2 shoots out a projectile. What does the Claymore do? Does the Claymore have a tongue attack? More new imps. These ones have mortar pots. Cool. Just when I thought I was safe, a second ceiling has attacked the Tarnished. Weird note, if you roll, you can get hit on the ass, so the ceiling doesn't headshot you. I was able to live. But really the key is just stepping in, making a drop, and running under it as it moves back up. Same thing with the second room, just bait it, but this time you go to the top to see the rest of the dungeon. We got 2 soldiers and a hammer guy, time to be a master baiter and bait the first guy over. Wing stance doesn't really do poise damage, and we get 2-shot from the top. A second Lizard Greatsword has hit the inventory. Wahoo! Now we can power stance them. Eventually make it back to the 2 soldiers, only to find out Hammer Guy had a secret 3rd soldier in his room. But remember, I'm really good at the Black Knights. No problem. We get a Great Ghost Glovewort and that's it? Wait, no. We can jump on the spikes from the first room. My soul's IQ is through the roof. I got really excited for the Black Knight Andreas Ashes. He's well endowed apparently.
He's got a pretty nice piece.
But just because he's got a big hammer doesn't mean he knows how to swing it. More on that later. Back to the second spike ceiling, we can make it drop and fight another gargoyle for a 3rd Lizard Greatsword. We'll wield them like Zorro One Piece now. Boogie across and there's an elevator with a nice Stake America at the bottom. Isn't that sweet? I mean, kind of. It's there saying, you're about to die, but it won't be that bad. America, a deathbed companion confirmed? We've had 1 spiked ceiling room, yes, 2 spiked ceiling rooms, but what about a 3rd spiked ceiling room with 3 spiked ceilings? That's excessive. Almost as excessive as a 4th Lizard Greatsword. Now we can wear them like skis. I made it to the end of the room, got imped. Darn. From the middle, we get imped at the end again. They're so small and they just kind of duck under the attacks a lot of the time. Okay, 3rd time is the charm. We get into the little alcove, ride it up and get a Blink Bolt Ash of War, then go all the way back out on top of the spikes to grab the Stone Sword. It's a straight sword that does strike damage and is important to the battle of light and darkness. Stone swords are keys. This is a Keyblade, and it's gonna be a real struggle to use this Ash. Time for another hole and another Stake of America, this time right in front of a boss door. Time to throw down. Death Knight is a Giga Chad. So cool. Power stancing, throwing a ton of lightning, zipping all around at the speed of sound. Do not get grabbed by him. He will suck you to death. We didn't the first time. Bad news. I think he is immune to bleed and we're using a bloody milady. So we did not get the first try win.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Oh hey, here's what the grab looks like. Not a second try win either.
You'll be sucked.
However, despite 2 losses, it does kind of feel like I get to participate in this fight a little bit more. Not a lot more, but we're consistently getting down to around half health before dying. After a few attempts, I realized we should rock the big sword against him if we can't get the bleed anyway, and it works great, till I get sucked again. I have yet to discover the true tech, but once I do, this guy's a pushover. Yash is a bit too aggressive and breaking him out of crit windows. Remember, we have the talisman that makes us hit harder after we crit. Ideally, I'd like to get crits easily, but I don't know how I'm gonna do that. We also get a damage boost when our Spirit Ash dies. Imagine sacrificing a poor Yoshi just for a leg up on a boss. What am I? Mario? I mean, yeah, kind of. Here's the secret tech. This guy can be backstabbed, and pretty easily, really easily with a Spirit Ash, but even if the Spirit Ash dies, he has a lot of moves that kind of make him stand forward with his big old backside sticking out. That means that all we have to do to get the crit boost is walk around and hit him in the back. Backstabbing doesn't even count towards stance pressure, meaning that after we knock him down, we can get a charge heavy off and repeat to get a regular stance break too. It's so easy. After we died for 30 minutes straight trying to figure it out. We get the twin axes that let us dash forward better than the lightning ash of war we grabbed earlier, and the crimson amber medallion +3 for a big old health boost, which doesn't help really. Let's try Rellana with Andreas. He hits her with his tongue, well endowed and still going down. It doesn't even do much damage. I think he just enjoys it. King shit. How does he do against the dancing lion? Well, the damage is good, but he's just too stupid to live. Maybe he's not meant to be a fighter. He could be a translator. Certainly seems like a cunning linguist. Maybe we can explore more down the side of Castle Ensis. There's a little bridge I want to try and climb. Maybe if you get there from inside the castle. We get some pants from Soldier. That's neat. I like pants. But then I find my way onto the rooftops like in Raya Lucaria 1. And we're rewarded with 1 somber stone 2. And a Burger King who's stuck in the floor. Help, Step Tarnished. I'm stuck in the roof. Trying again by the guy who sold poison, we find a way down to a poison swamp. If you ever need to know where to go in a FromSoft game, follow the poison swamps. There's another revered spirit ash, and then dying because of bad jumps. Going the other way, there's an ulcerated tree spirit, and we have a pure fire weapon with these perfume things. That should work great.
This sucks.
Maybe this one isn't weak to fire, or maybe it's because we're on water, but yeah, it is chipping away. I don't think it does any stance damage whatsoever. If it does, it's basically nothing. We just keep hitting this dude over and over and over again. At least we'll maybe get a new seed for the flask, and no. It's a Baron. One of those things you put in the consumable slot to spam ranged attacks. Cool. Further down, we get a 2-headed turtle talisman, which is pretty rad. If you don't know what talisman you need, turtle's never a bad option, so I'm sure 2-headed turtle's pretty good too. It takes a few attempts to figure out how to get around the birds, but eventually we make it all the way down to the bottom of a waterfall and find a field full of lightning goats. And another wicker man. This one has a bunch of fireballs that chase you, giving you another opportunity to mess it up. On the way back, I found a little pot hanging off the waterfall. It's got mushroom seller's bell bearing. Okay, I'll do some shrooms. Here's the thing with the wicker men. They take a little too long, and it's not fun. It's not particularly hard, but because they take so long and one mistake gets you killed, it's really not fun. If this is the only way to get physic tiers in the DLC, I'm not doing it. Especially not on NG+7, where everything has higher stance resistance. And the only way to beat this thing is with stance damage. But we also decided that after like 20 minutes of running in, getting hit once, and dying. New rule, I can use base game physics. Why? Because the rules don't matter. They're my rules. I don't want to use them. Hey, when we skip that, we can get to a new area. It's the Cerulean coast, and we grab another sword. Then fight a mob of demi-humans with a queen and force Yash to turn on his own kind.
That is fucked up, Daisy.
I'm cleaning up the mob before fighting the queen. I know it's just a demi-human queen, but like, in the Shadowlands, I'm sure it's got some messed up stuff. I just want to make sure that we have the best odds possible. There are a few left when we fight her, but she can kind of hit her own guys too, so it ends up being kind of fine, I think. If this is like other demi-humans, we just gotta hug the crotch and slash away. Oh my god, we beat a boss on the first try, and got a spirit sword. We have doubled the number of bosses we beat in the first day.
From what, 2 to 4?
Yep.
Actually, it's worse than that. It's 1 to 2. I'm the king of Elden Ring, baby. More than anything, I just wanted to find blue Scadoos and revered spirit ashes. Anything to give us a little more of a chance. There seems to be a bunch of crashed boat coffin things. They have grave gloveworts at the top. Okay, Ghost Flame Dragon. It's a dragon, but with Ghost Flame. They put a dragon and a deathbird together. An improvement on a deathbird for sure, but he really ruined a perfectly good dragon. This one does not just shoot breath in one line, it shoots it in 2 half lines. Interesting. Gotta mix up how you dodge it. Then the wing attack is faster than I thought it would be, so I'm dead. I'm sure it drops a dragon heart, but right now, I kinda don't feel like fighting it. I don't want a dragon heart. I don't want to do dragon spells. Shortly after grabbing the map, we get it. Another blue Scadoo. Down the road, the fingerprint ruins of Rhea. We have Raya, Lucaria, Raya, the snake girl, and now Rhea. Hope I don't have to fight Rhea later. I really hate to die to Rhea. Currently seems like nothing here. We'll check back later. There's a big giant throwing sleep pots. I don't want to sleep, so let's throw down and then fall down. Then escape and return to throwing down. Maybe he'll drop a weapon or another big pot. Well, okay. I guess I shouldn't be mad considering we are wearing a helmet that boosts pot damage. After making it down the hole, we find another cave that is locked off by Mikola. Bummer. Well, that seems like all we can do here for now. Back to the dancing lion with another level of Scadoo blessing. Surely, we are ready.
No, you ain't!
Well, as ready as we can be. This is the boss we've gotten closest to beating. Hell, yesterday we got him within 5% of his health, and now we're doing like 15% more damage with those blue Scadoos. If we can get another run like that, we'll be good for a third boss in one day, dream big. Well, no spoilers, but here's our best attempt. We get in there with the squad, Ons and Lydia, here to bring the pain. Very early bleed, not Ons, it's Yash, what am I saying? Then practice dodging in a circle around the breath. It could have gone better. Yash is getting destroyed, but that leaves Lydia with more health, and when he dies, we get a big damage boost, so hell, I'll take it. Yash dies, we get a stance break for some more damage, and then he goes for the grab. I'll take that for sure. Punish with a diving wings dance. We're getting decent luck. He starts out the airbender phase, whipping and twisting around, and then Frost, which, am I just kind of good at dodging this now? Oh my god, it looks like we might do it. He aims his breath down at us, but that just gives Freya enough time to get the win. Guitar Hero 2 would never let us down. Freya brings the sword. We get the Divine Beast head, and I decide to buy the Cold Stump, Ash of War from the Round Table Hold. I will regret that. I don't think it's very good. Looks neat though. One door unlocks, we go up a big old staircase with some thorns that are blocking our path. Lita left a note. Did she already beat the lion? Where was she? Apparently we gotta head east, and our easternmost place is Raya to Caria. Oh no. It seems like Rellana is maybe an important boss. Good news, we can summon Lita for the fight. She might have always been here, but I didn't notice. Oh, also, Rellana has super duper Carrion Granger, then goes full Pontiff Sullivan and sets one of her swords on fire. When Renala was studying books, Rellana was studying the blade. Doming her with the frost pots activates in 2 hits, which is more than I can say from the new Stomp Ash of War. Maybe the pot buildup is just absurdly high, in which case I gotta remember that for later, but I think the Storm Stomp just kinda sucks. I didn't want to waste consumables though. We tried a bunch of different stuff for like 30 minutes. Got to some of her late stage attacks. I think Moon, Double Moon is pretty sick. Sometimes I even managed to dodge it a little bit. Nothing works. We end the stream with 4 total bosses dead. Better than yesterday.
Monday.
Wait, what happened to Sunday? Well, I have to write the scripts. I don't get to just play the game like y'all do. If the video is gonna come out and get edited, I can't just like play Elden Ring. It's a pretty common misconception. These videos are usually 30 minutes long, and that's a damn Big Bang Theory episode. The writers of Old Sheldon have a whole room of people working together to get those scripts done. They take turns writing it. To only have 1 episode out weekly for half of the year, and generally they're only putting their names on like 5 episodes a season at most. I gotta do all of that solo while doing Elden Ring. Corey edits. That helps a lot. He does like more than half of the work editing these, but writing still takes a lot of time, and balancing that with longer videos all back to back and streaming is rough stuff. Streaming is also hard work. I know you don't think it is, but it's draining. It's like driving a bus, but everyone on the bus gets to tell you their favorite route through town, and also you have to tell them the name of the streets you drive past, and also when your new bus is coming out, and why you haven't driven the Greyhound bus yet. That's such a good bus. When are you gonna drive that bus? Why don't you fly a plane? I know it's not a bus, but it's kind of like a bus, and I'd like to ride a plane. I went to the dentist today. Do you ever get sad and think about ending things? I don't have a therapist, but Mr. Bus Driver, you seem like the person to talk to about this. You're emotionally responsible for my well-being, and also you should turn left up here. I know it's a one-way, but I won't get in trouble because I'm not driving the bus. And also you're driving too fast. Don't brake so hard. And also seat is sticky. And also I can't hear the announcements. Why does the bisexual woman keep stabbing you so much? Is it hard to focus on the fight while I ask you why we haven't arrived at the bus stop yet? Speed rocks. I'm gonna take a day off once this video's done and just watch Speed. Keanu, Sandy Bullock, I need a break. A little speed break. Anyway, after a Google search, I find the spirit spring that leads up to Scadutree. We're in Fort of Reprimand with an Omen Killer. Hey, I know how to fight those. Then I find another boss, Black Knight Edredd. He's got some long combos, quite long in fact, but I know how to fight the other Black Knights, just sneak around and stab them. And looks like that'll work.
I treat you like a princess, and you stab me in the back.
Totally free win. We even have bleed. We can poise break him out of several attacks with the wing stance jump. Oh, we still die in 2 hits, and he hits exclusively in combos. Might take a couple of tries. We just need to make sure that our positioning is good. His big dive bomb attack is pretty easy to avoid, literally just roll into it, pretty forgiving. Depending on where you stand though, that can be harder done than said. Room's a little tight. Tip I figured out, when he's doing a combo, don't dodge backwards. Dodge to this side, keep dodging to the same side, and it just sort of spins in a circle. Also bring him outside. There's more room. Not much more to say about this one. We still flounder just cause, you know, hits hard, hits fast, gotta learn stuff. But that's fun. Haven't had to learn a boss for like a year. This is the kind of thing I love about a FromSoft game. And after about 20 minutes, we get the run. Bring him outside, get hit, then back off to double chug. Double chugging sucks. And despite having maxed out flasks, we have to do it all the time. Still, just kind of kite him back and forth until we miss the backstab. But then we bleed him out of the wing move. This guy's crucible must be bird. He whiffs a big dumb jump attack. It's his worst move by far, which means it's my favorite. Then we back up and wing stance poke for another bleed. Is Ed red? Yeah, he's red. He's bleeding. And he's a communist. Getting the aspect of the Crucible Ash of War, wings. If I had a nickel for every Ash of War that was wing themed, I'd have 2 nickels. After a little more exploring, we make it out to Scadu Altis proper, a lovely area if you don't have celiac disease. If you do, stay out. Lots of wheat. There's a dragon that seems precisely like none of my business, and a hole that leads into a cave that I'm not doing right now. We're rushing Altis for more blue Scadu fragments, and find some in the Church of the Crusade, as well as finding Quaeleg again.
Didn't I kill you already?
Well, if the first fight was a struggle, this one makes up for it. Simply wings dance. Poke again, and repeat. Get poked on the way out? Heal it off. That's what the ritual shield is for. We get the prayer room key. Damn, this game's so hard it hands you a key and says, you better get right with God, champ. Hey, remember that imbued sword key? Did we mention getting that? Well, we got an imbued sword key, and we find a portal to the ancient ruins of Ra'u? God damn it. Raya Lucaria, Raya the snake, runes of Ria, and now Ra'a. There are 26 letters, Mr. Miyazaki. Use more of them. There's a lot of people who like to correct my pronunciation, so here we have the vaginal discharge, which raises your defense with more equip load. Couldn't figure out if it was percentile or total weight. I'm sure you know now, but Streamphil can't hear you. He's driving a bus in the past. There's a Capra Demon Jr. here. He's got that Wu-Tang sword style with extra karate fighting, but he doesn't drop anything. Maybe we could farm him, but not worth it. Unless there was a grace. I'm not going through that portal every time. Find a secret spirit spring to the blue Skidoo, then make our way out to the Morth ruins. Can we fall down? Appears not. Is this healing spell from Aladdin? No, it's heal from Jafar. Oh boy, another Wicker Man. I'm just gonna pass on that.
I don't want to.
All right, now we got those levels. Rellana, it's time to get got. Poison pots are good, but getting the materials together every time isn't. And we still die so fast. When it comes to assessing the difficulty, I know that's controversial and I feel like I can't really weigh in on it. I'm not playing this right. Everything is majorly overtuned for me, obviously. It's supposed to be a New Game Plus 7. But I have yet to dislike a boss fight. Remember, Wicker Men aren't bosses. They're chores you can die doing, like if you were folding your laundry and a cardigan stabbed you. This all feels kind of like a response to the base game though. Like I've talked about how I think bosses in Elden Ring are more aggressive than enemies in Dark Souls because they balance the game to be more fun in co-op. I've co-opted Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and Elden Ring. Elden Ring is by far the most fun. And Spirit Ashes are your tool to play solo if you want, with the same suggested level of difficulty as co-op. But for some reason, a lot of the community just hates Spirit Ashes and summons because they make the game easier, even if like a lot of Elden Ring stuff makes the game easier. All that to say, maybe this is all overtuned because FromSoft is trying to say, we put ashes in the game. They're intended. The bosses are balanced for 2 people. Use the Spirit Ashes, kids. Rellana specifically can turn on a dime, which is wild because she's a dime, a real swell gal. But we bring in Lita and Yash. She's just spinning around and smacking whoever comes in her direct area. There is no real trading aggro here. It's just Rellana saying, let me solo you. Think about it. Power stancing swords, that is solo behavior.
It all makes sense now.
I tried too long and too hard, but it's time. Let's fully upgrade Milady and Yash. I know I like them. They're both great. Now we have 2 extra bleed buildup per hit. Amazing. That's exactly what we needed. But we also have a new strategy. Don't bring Yash right away. Don't get me wrong, Yash rocks, but he makes Rellana turn. I don't want her to turn. Lita is much more of a stable figure. If we can get Rellana pointing in one direction, we can run in and use the double hit of the dashing R2 that combos into the longer R1 combo and boost off the combo physic when we build up that bleed. It's foolproof, or it would be, but I am underestimating my level of foolness. Generally, we get a stance break around the phase transition. That's when we bring out Yash. It no longer matters if she is looking straight on. She's a cloud of damage that kind of goes all around the arena, in every direction, firing lasers and death and pain.
I love the kind of woman that can kick my ass.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the vibes of this script are just like a lot more positive. Like I'm dying so much more than in a standard video, but I just love this game. Plus, I still have one more day to stream before we have to lock it down to get the video done. Once we beat Rellana, we've got to have most of the hardest bosses done, right? Winning run? You bet. You think we're just gonna end the video floundering to a boss over and over again? Where's the satisfaction in that? Lita gets in there, tanks aggro, and then we run behind her. I will say, if we're considering balance, maybe the fact that every NPC needs to have roughly 2 billion HP to live through the fight could be noted, and that they still die. We get the stance break, big old crit, then charged attack as she stands up, then book it. We have friends, let them handle most of it. Jump over the moon slammers, Lita dies first, big bummer. Then Yash, she is so close, and we get a damage buff from Yash dying. Getting in is so hard though, until we do. End it with an unnecessary bleed, and hey, stream fill, how we feeling? That's what FromSoft games are all about, baby. That feeling you had as a kid fighting Bowser or Twin Rova for hours, dying over and over again, but knowing that if you won, you were so cool. Now, Bowser's easy. You can beat Ocarina of Time in an afternoon. Hell, even base game Elden Ring had me mopping up all the bosses on extended difficulties in 10 hours. This shit is hard because we are hard now. FromSoft made you hard, and it has to be hard next to you. Eventually, after you've been hard together, you'll get to feel that sweet release. Google "getting hard together" for a sweet release on your work computer to find out more.
Jizz.
We can cash in Rellana's boss hole for some swords or spells. Oh boy, I wonder which one we're gonna choose. It's the swords. They're light grade swords, but they have a unique two-handed moveset where there's 2 of them. They scale with 4 stats, which is pretty great because we have 60 across the board. I think I'm gonna like it here. Hey, you know who's still alive? The Blackgaol Knight. We've got plenty of blue Scadutree. We've got a brand new weapon. We still die so fast. But so does he. At least he doesn't one-shot us anymore. How can you say the game's too hard? He doesn't even one-shot us anymore. Oh, also Wings stance jump cheese works on him too, because he's an NPC. Should have probably tried that earlier. He drops the whole kit and caboodle, big sword and big armor. We're gonna put the armor on, but I'm keeping the head. In honor of Alexander, my BFF for real. I love Jar guys. Back to Altus, try the dragon. The Black Knight wants to fight us at the same time? No. Okay, try Hole again. Don't make me over, I'm all I wanna be. There's a spell at the bottom and a path to another Jarberg with a potentate who fights back? But no pot friends. Okay, never mind, DLC sucks. I'm going to Steam right now to review bomb it. The Butcher's Knife is better here. The whip we get is a whip that has poison damage. Then a great rune breaks, and so has a powerful charm?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Then another Wicker Man, but it's right next to a Spirit Spring. So, come on, let me in. Let me go in that head. Let me do it. Let me have that head. I'm going into the head. Let me into the head. I want into the head. God damn it. They had an opportunity to make one of these dudes fun, and they didn't. This sucks. Oh well. Hey Phil, can you summarize your feelings playing this game?
What you got? Oh, something bad's gonna happen to me now. Something bad is gonna happen to me.
Seriously, something nasty's about to hop out of this water at any time. I'm so ready for it. There's something moving under the water. Ooh, come on, I can't wait to see.
I hope you're hungry for nothing.
Oh well, there's a Mesmer Priest. I do not like these guys. Why do they all have the poise and all the health and all the damage? You have to pick 2 of those. We'll use the roof to block the fire and are rewarded for killing him with
nothing.
Okay, run around like it's on Orlando up the spires across the ceilings to get the shiny 4 feathers. also known as
Nothing.
Then use the prayer room key.
It's time to pray.
Quaalig is here and we literally can't kill him. Pretty strong move. Oh, but the room has plenty of
Nothing.
Call me Ben Shapiro because I'm removing all wetness from this place. Let's say, hypothetically, my wife was a castle. If that was the case, then she would be bone dry. Found out what was inside the water, an ulcerated tree spirit. Hey, I have a fire ash of war that's pretty good. It feels crazy to hit something and deal a reasonable amount of damage to it in this game. Let's freaking go. Not a boss, but it drops a spell that lets us roll to bleed. Overall, pretty productive day, I'd say. Surely tomorrow will be the same. We just have to beat all the other bosses, or die trying. Back to that shadow keep. We just keep up with that shadow. Ignore Mesmer's priest and get the Mesmer casting seal, our first casting seal, and our first option for casting spells in the DLC. I'm sure we'll get great use out of it. Then the longest elevator I've seen outside the Citadel, all the way down to the bottom where we find the Scadutree avatar. Seems weak as hell to fire. Unless there's more than meets the eye with this one, we're finally in for an easy win.
I'm gonna tell him.
Don't you dare.
He leads off with some thorns, they hit wicked hard, but he is for sure a member of the Erdtree avatar ulcerated tree spirit family. Big slow attacks that aren't all that hard to dodge, but break you the fudge down. Wait, for real? Is this guy hard?
Oh, honey.
See? We beat it already. Oh, then phase 2 starts, and he's faster. Damn, Sun Flora got hit with that sunny day. Elden Stars the second is a huge pain in the ass. Still gotta figure out how to dodge that. Probably should figure out how to dodge the opening attack as well. You know, we're gonna be stuck here a while. Let's go get some more stuff. Missed an obvious Scadutree fragment right outside the Rellana fight. That's embarrassing. Then we get a monk's missive, because someone wants to throw hands and teach us how to throw hands. Lita wants to start murdering other people to make sure she's Miquella's biggest fan. I don't think that's Miquella's vibe. Can you imagine if people followed a god whose message was universally about peace, forgiveness, and charity, and used that as an excuse for violence, vengeance, and hoarding obscene amounts of wealth? Anyway, Jesus, this Wicker Man is burninating the whole village while I look for blue skidoos I've already grabbed from here. We're just taking our time to get as many blue skidoos as we can. I'm kind of getting worried that even when we do get them all, we're still gonna be boned. The Morth Ruins Grace is apparently a lovely hub with which to grab fragments, but also we apparently already grabbed like half of them. Whoops. Down to the Cerulean coast, it sure is misty down here. Back to that little cavern that was blocked off, and the door is open. Probably because we beat Rellana, or maybe even just the Lion Dancer. Have we been back since then? I don't know. But this place is huge and rad. Can't wait to explore it more later when I won't die quite as fast. Still probably pretty fast. Lest you think this will be boring, no, 2 fragments are being held at the front door of the Shadow Keep by a hippopotamus. That's a boss.
Damn it.
He's got a goblin grab and a lot of other chomps. Honestly, I was pretty sure this was just a normal hippo. From real life, those things are deadly as hell. But then he gets a bunch of porcupine spines, or, hear me out, it's a wig? That wig snatches Yash and we get got a little later. Seriously though, nothing he does other than the spines are something a real hippo isn't capable of. Did you know a hippo can run as fast as a horse? They don't swim. They drop to the bottom of the river and fucking run. Hippos are herbivores, but they still kill shit. Why? They like it. They kill for fun. They have the strongest bite of all land animals. You think that's for vegetables? It's for murder. Normally I'm all for conservation, but I'm starting a charity to make hippos go extinct. These bastards are evil and the world would be a safer place for all creatures if they were gone. Okay, well, I mean, it's gonna grow up to be dangerous. Every animal looks cute when it's drinking from a bottle. Maybe we just make them stay in pools. Oh God, it's got such a little boop snoot. Okay, hippos can live, but not this hippo. It's getting the fire tornado, which really seems to carve up bosses with big bodies and lots of places to take those eruption hitboxes. Seems like the stance pressure might be pretty good too. That's the only stance break we get. Although he really reminds me of the Bloodborne pigs. I wish we could just run to the ass and get elbow deep.
Nothing wrong with that.
He drops 2 blue skidoos, and we have access to the other half of Shadow Keep. This ghost seems to think that Marika would never abandon her child.
I love all my children equally.
I don't care for
Mesmer, Golden Vow? What do you mean? Is there a new Golden Vow spell that's different than the spell? Yes, it's a craftable item, which means we can now get Golden Vow in the DLC. I quite like that. Here we go into a bit of a discourse on the review bombing. No, here's the issue, is that games journalists are just too good at video games, right? Like, games journalists famously love difficult games, and that's why games journalists gave it such a good score, is because they famously like their games a little too hard. They don't understand what real gamers want. Because what real gamers want is like an easy mode for Elden Ring, right? That's what all the real gamers have been demanding, that Elden Ring get an easy mode to make it more accessible for people. And games journalists have been gatekeeping Elden Ring and wanting it to be harder, because games journalists are the real villains here. So this is a problem with ethics in games journalism. Anyway, here's my big criticism. The game has too many directions to go. There's too much to explore, and I'm only one tarnished who can only go one direction. This time, I went across a big bridge. How are we meant to outrun the magma rain? Truly a mystery. What could it be? You can get on your horse. I didn't realize you could get on your horse. And hey, we're back to the ancient ruins of ruins. But I'm so easily distracted. Let's go back, grab some more blue skidoos. For that, we have to climb up the research hall from the old hunters. Seriously, this place really feels like that. It's even got weird flesh mound enemies. Classic Miyazaki move, make us jump on some toes to keep climbing up, then find a note that says we need to drain the castle. I already did that. Pro gamer move. The next Mesmer Priest has holy attacks too that knock you over as he gatekeeps the stairs. I hate him. Looks like Lydia's here doing some research. Thanks again for your help with the lion. Let me know if you need some help reading. No offense, I just don't know if Redmane Castle is the best place to learn things. What am I talking about? Radon studied sorceries, and it's right there in the name. These knights are well read, man. We fought one hippo, yes, but what about a second hippo? This one's smaller, but does that make it less dangerous? Yes. We can summon for it. That makes me think it's gonna drop something. Just like the big version, he's got a big gobble, but it actually doesn't even do half our health. Is that allowed? I thought every grab was supposed to be a one-shot now. Here we go. Scadutree fragment, right here for doing that. Oh my god, I was kidding! I really love these ancient ruins. Do we really need to go fight more stuff? Honestly, this place seems pretty unfucked by the Shattering War. It's grassy, lush, the enemies didn't hit us very hard. Can't seem to find many bosses in the areas I can reach. Pitch a tent, Tarnished. You're always home if you want to be. Through some caves, we find some pot guys, some of whom drop shit, some of whom do not. After a bit of running around, I find our way to Ymir, who is giving some sketchy vibes. He also gives us a cool sounding stone, and I know where to put that. Put it in Urea. Oh, sorry, Rhea Ruins is how it's pronounced. After we do, we get a Crimson Seed Talisman +1, and like...
Is that it?
But actually, with our massive health pool, this talisman is goated, saving us from ever needing to triple chug and often turning double chugs into single chugs.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Now we can deliver the news, and oh ho ho, who's this? It's Jolan. She's mean and has no interest in us.
Hello?
I love you.
Ymir heard the sounding we did. I imagine it would be hard to stay quiet for that. Gives us the beloved Stardust, a talisman that gives you 50 virtual dexterity, but makes you take 25% more damage? Gotta say, that seems terrible. The bosses get faster in the DLC. It doesn't even let you cast faster than you could with maxed out dex. It's literally just a replacement for dexterity, and you get it in an area you have to at very least have beaten Moog and Radon to get to. If you are far enough in to get this talisman, your dexterity should at least be the point where Radigan's icon is good enough for casting speed. This is so ass. Reset at the Grace and Jolan will talk to us a bit more, ending with enough of you. Ymir is in the graveyard, mourning the dead kid. Mourning? I thought he wanted to talk about night. Rabbit Rise? Yeah, they're great jumpers. Easily find the secret wall to unlock the Spirit Spring, jump up, and get the Rabbit Cannon. I was worried it would be some lame spell that makes a little blue torch or something. It's a goddamn artillery cannon. Now back to our regularly scheduled Avatar butt crushing. I'm getting a little better at getting to phase 2, where I die so fast. Forget what I said about him being slow and hitting hard. Now he's fast and hits harder than he did in the first phase. Did realize Yash was doing jack in the fight, so saving the magic will let us hit more fire tornadoes, which is probably better, at least for phase 1, when there's time to get them off. We tried a few strategies, but yeah, nothing works, so we're gonna bail again. While taking a little break for my little butt, I remembered that we checked out the ruins of Starfall Past, but haven't actually gone that deep in there. Maybe there's something good, or maybe it leads to a new area with more Scadutree fragments. Who knows? First, we get the Smith Script Spear, which lets you yeet your spear, probably a good idea. That's kind of one of the best parts of using a spear in real life. This puzzle gets me a little stuck. Then I realize you pull a lever. If you've ever been the dungeon master of a D&D campaign, you know how it goes when you set up the easiest puzzles for your players and they just can't figure it out. Well, Elden Ring's a little better. In Elden Ring, there has to be a lever to miss. In Dungeons & Dragons, players will just stand outside an unlocked door for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to pick the lock without trying to open the door. The second room is a bit more of a puzzle with a clever fake out. You assume it's the same as the first room, pull the lever and go through it. That lets us find the Smithstone Cirque. You don't cowabunga into the bottomless pit, by the way, worth a shot. After a lot of running around, we figure out that you have to pull the lever to make the locked doors come back up, but run really fast and stand on it to get that ancient meteoric or great sword. A colossal sword that deals a lot of piercing damage and lets you dash forward with the Ash of War, then explode. None of that's going to change anything for the Scadutree avatar, but I do figure some stuff out. 1. It seems pretty easy to bait his head into moves that let you smack it for a bunch of extra damage in phase 1, and it's not as wiggly as an ancient dragon. That's kind of cool. It's almost like a fusion of a standard dragon and an ulcerated tree spirit. 2, actually that's all we figured out. I'm able to get to phase 2 a little consistently, but it's just hitting us too hard, and I'm struggling to get the timing down on moves in phase 2. Hell, I still don't have the timing down on moves in phase 1. I'll just need more time on this boss, because we didn't beat it. Which means after spending 4 days in the DLC, we failed. I thought we'd be so overleveled that the DLC would be a cakewalk. Thought that my skills after 2 years of fighting the base game bosses would make me good enough for whatever FromSoft had ready. But I was wrong. Not only did we not beat the DLC, from what I can gather, we're not really even close. This is a loss, and I have been beaten. Ending things floundering against a boss in an anticlimactic way. But what if this isn't my climax? Now, I haven't been beaten. You can't lose Elden Ring. You can die, but you always come back. The only way Elden Ring can beat you is if you let it, if you quit. I wanted to know if I could survive 4 days in the DLC at New Game Plus 7. I did. I'm still alive. There is still breath in my lungs, and even more so, I freaking love it. Earlier, I talked about feeling burnt out. That max stats run did a number on my patience. It was a monotonous slog doing the same thing over and over again, but in all honesty, it wasn't that much different than what we were already doing. Trying the same game over and over again, trying to make the same content in a slightly different way. Now, there's something new, and it comes with a new feeling, challenge, excitement, danger. I had more fun playing Elden Ring this past week than I have in a year. The game is hard again. Good. We couldn't beat it in a week. Fantastic. I'm well aware that other gamers have done better than me, but I don't think I need to care about that anymore. For the first time in a while, I'm really loving what I do, not just liking it. Next week, we'll continue, and gamers, that's where I'm gonna need your support. Making a part 2 video is kind of risky because people who didn't watch part 1 probably won't watch part 2. So I'm putting my hands up to you like Goku with the Spirit Bomb. Lend me your energy for next week. We'll be back here, same time, same channel. Please come watch the video, like it, and watch all of it. Don't just click on it and click off. That really tanks the algorithm. I think that kind of happened to the Hades 2 video, so please don't do that. If you're not going to watch it, just don't watch it. Anyway, breaking a video into pieces is a new direction for us, but it's an exciting one. If this works out, I'll no longer feel pressured to rush myself and rush videos, preventing them from being their best. I won't feel like I need to make the same jokes over and over again to get the script out on time. This is Tulok and Mango's new direction, and I'm really excited for you to see it. Google Tulok and Mango's nude erection on your work computer to find out more.